She's on her way, traffic.
Oh, okay. Over there? Alrighty. Minutes, we have a set of minutes from the last meeting on the 25th of August. Do you wanna make a motion or not?
Sure.
Alright, yours.
I will, make a motion to approve the, regular selectmen meeting minutes from Thursday, August 25th at 7:22. As written?
Second.
Any discussion, gentlemen?
No, I don't think so.
Not really. Anything that had to be changed so minor, it's not worth it.
I know I made some changes and sent them out, if you saw those or not. They're minor ones. Alright, all those in favor?
I,
We have minutes. I assume that's the copy from, that I sent you, Jim?
It is, yeah.
There's some minor stuff.
I don't bother printing them until I get here to the back.
Which comes from the.
She's gonna sign that.
Yep. Alright. Public comment, Donna.
Sorry, I had company show up and I'm trying to get out the door.
Bob, wanna add to public comment, about anything and everything?
I'm good.
Alright, hearing no public comment, I'm gonna close public comments. Welcome. You just approved minutes,
Okay.
that's about it, in public comment, so. You really didn't miss much.
Tom made the motion, I seconded the motion.
Give you a moment to catch up. You got a lot going.
Time we called it one, so.
7:01.
Tom made the motion and you second.
Correct.
Okay.
Good?
Yep.
Alright, well, we have a public hearing at 7:15, so in the meantime, we'll go out of order and just go right down the list on stuff, gentlemen.
yep, that's for me.
Jeff Crosby, asked him to be here regarding the Stark Bridge, I believe he's supposed to be here to talk about Wardway Road next week, so he asked if we could just combine the two to.
Okay, sure.
Yep, that's for me.
I know, time is, getting slim on the year here, and I know the townspeople have asked to have that bridge done, and I let them know, and I know you've been on and asking as well, where we're at, and get some actual, just saying, yeah, we're close, isn't gonna cut it.
Yeah,
We need some
no,
dates, times,
we need to
whatever.
know
Yeah,
what pieces he's missing and where, if anything, where we can help.
yep, absolutely. The water isn't gonna be any lower than this, by this
No, it's
coming
probably as
fall.
low as it's gonna be right now.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
if we can get it done and get it moving, let's do it, knock
we
it
don't
out.
need the bridge, probably drive across.
Yeah, really. So, anyway, next week, Mr. Crosby, so be ready if you have questions. Stark Highway signage, still waiting to hear back from the Bureau of Traffic on that. They got,
Do we have to get permission to put that sign up?
yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's on the,
it's on the
it's
state
right away,
right-of-way.
like state right away.
Okay.
So we just can't throw anything up there.
Okay.
Gotta talking to Walter over in the Bureau of Traffic, wait for him to get back to me. So, hopefully, maybe by next week we should have an answer, and maybe they might even get it done. We just have the sign, we don't have the post, correct?
Well, highway has posts, so we can snag them.
So we have a post as well, so I just want to know, so in case they ask, as far as,
Right, so it's flagged out there where we agree to have it, would like to have it,
Yeah.
just need their permission.
There's a peg out there.
yeah, no, orange peg, I think.
Yeah, there's a peg on
Because
the
they
ground.
usually, send me emails or something like that saying it's been approved.
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of, going around a different way of getting there, by me asking,
Okay,
as a DOT employee too,
okay,
so.
okay.
But I'll have him, if he does anything by email, I'll have him send it here as well, so it's on
Yep.
record.
Yep.
Alright, return to work policy.
Okay.
Where are we at on
That should be, actually I forwarded to the Primex, attorney staff. I'm just waiting to hear back on that, and I figured I'd wait to get their response before
Yep.
hear from, and forward it to our town attorneys, I didn't wanna change something that
Mhm.
was gonna be revised if they choose to do that.
So it's in prime existing hands.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good.
Yep.
Alrighty. 7:06, so we still got time. Job description, transfer station supervisor. That's it.
Had a little bit of time today to review these.
You sent this to us electronically, you said?
I did,
Both of them or just one?
both of them, yep.
Okay.
And, what I attempted to do with the two of them was, the detail on the transfer station manager is a little bit different because of his
Mhm.
position, but when it came to, summary of occupations, disclaimer statement, other considerations, equipment used, I guess maybe I don't have them in the same order, I should probably put them in the same order.
I was gonna say,
Environment, I guess I can put them all in the same order.
yeah, keep the same
that's-
format.
Yep. Equipment used,
I know personally, these are just my 2 cents. 19 specific duties and responsibilities, I think, are overkill. We should be able to grind this down into probably no more than 10.
I
Most
tried,
jobs. We don't have to tell them every single thing they have to do. I mean, a lot of it just kind of goes with the job.
Okay,
When you say supervisor or administers, whatever, it's a broad
I think
range.
it was at 24 at the last
Right.
Yep.
review, so I got rid of a few of them, I just,
I'll be happy to take a crack at it.
I would appreciate the support and help.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Now, they've been doing reclass for all my people, I've been creating job descriptions
Okay,
like the last 2 weeks, so it's still fresh in my head.
And you could probably combine some of these
Yeah.
where you can put those different groups, but under
Yeah.
one heading.
Exactly.
right, and you'll see that there's a few that are two-line,
Mm-hmm.
number 5, I combined number 3, number 15, so there, but if you feel that there's a way to condense it even further, right now it's down to 3. Physical activity requirements, I've removed the language that says frequency, the frequency of that action, and that enabled me to condense the columns up. And then the last page is strictly the recognition, acknowledgement, and signature of the, so I condensed some.
Alright, well, we can take I mean, you guys have any suggestions or thoughts, email?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if we can do our best for next week to have something that's, if not sooner, if I get out to you guys so we can actually go over it and beat it up, do whatever. It's not infallible by any stretch of the imagination. 7:10. Alrighty, jump into the mailbox here. We have a note from Rainey Colette about the floor plan.
We got people lined up to do that assembly.
So far I have one, I have a call into Ed Wooten to
Yep.
find out, Griffin is not available.
That's the other side, that's the other side. On tables.
I don't know if he's gone out there and measured that, and if it works, but,
No, this doesn't, this is a whole lot different than how we've done it in the past. And I know his, words on Tuesday were that I'm not changing anything, so I'm not sure where he got this.
What's different?
Well, these tables here are usually going this way.
Yeah, right,
So the lines are going this way.
yeah.
These new voters, they're
Yeah,
over
they
this
usually-
way. Then we also have another one over here where you
Oh,
have
yeah.
the handicap folks.
Yeah.
So it's the table with all the cardboard
Yeah,
pieces
right.
up there.
Yeah.
the register to vote, which is whatchamacallit there, so as a checklist,
Yeah.
that's over here somewhere.
Yeah, usually on, by the bathroom.
Yeah,
I
that's-
think I have the template saved from when Fred Mullen did it, I'll have to pull it up, so if you wanna have it both,
Yeah, that'd be
when they're
nice.
setting it up, if this
Right.
doesn't work, then they can report
Well,
back.
cause I mean, everybody's gonna have to come in, they have to
Yeah,
go
'cause
around.
now they're gonna go around.
And they got
yeah.
to, if you get a line here, if you're gonna have to cut through these people to get to here,
Right.
then if you get a line here, these people gotta cross through these people to get to them, so,
Yeah, it doesn't, it doesn't flow.
yeah, it's not a good flow. So,
Yeah, why wouldn't you put them this way?
I don't know.
If you'd like, I can scan, if I have, I'm almost certain I have the other one saved.
Yeah, if you
I
could-
can scan that to Rennie to let him know that this has been the norm for the
Yeah, what
past
is that
elections,
screen?
and it works
I'm not
well
sure.
for traffic flow.
Maybe that's the ones for the handicap, I don't know. That was
Oh, no, the
that was-
handicap thing is here.
That's a, well, yeah, there's one for a wheelchair, but there's one that way people, if they come in like on crutches or canes.
Oh, yes, that's what that
Yeah,
is.
it's a regular table, it's got
Yeah.
the cardboard things
Yeah,
taped to it, so then chairs, so they can just sit at a table like we are here, and they have
yeah,
almost
Yeah,
like
petition.
the Jeopardy petitions,
yeah,
exactly.
right, yeah.
So that's usually
Rennie Willett,
Rainiola, he's the town moderator, the new town moderator.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. Another issue? Seven 12. Oh, we can get this one out very quick. Ken Kerber for the Old Home Day Committee. Did we ever make a motion for him or not?
I think you tabled it only because, you asked if it was necessary to
Oh, for
have
swearing
all
in.
these individuals sworn in, and the idea behind it is that you ask that individual who's representing the town, who now becomes a volunteer for the town, to act in their true faith and whatever, and that's the whole purpose behind it.
Right, but did you ever get hold of, NHMA and ask them if we legally have to do this at all?
No, I think, Linda has said that this has been the process for the last 20 years, and that
Doesn't
she,
make it right. I've heard that, I mean, as a state employee, I heard that, we did this for 50 years this way.
yeah,
Guess what, we don't do it anymore because it doesn't mean it's good anymore.
okay,
I mean, it's fine, I don't have a problem with it, I mean, but
yep,
this,
So why do it if you don't need to?
yeah, I mean, exactly, if,
okay.
why choke the horse with, or kill the trees, beat the horse,
Yep.
I mean,
Um,
if we have to, that's fine, if we don't, then, the ones that we do have to, we do it, the other ones,
let me scan it to my folder, and that
Oh.
way I'll have it in my folder to send it to NHMA.
in the meantime, I'll make a motion to appoint Ken Kerber to the Old Home Day Committee. So, is that a March ending?
Yeah.
March 2017, term,
I'll second it.
discussion, gentlemen? Thanks, Ken, thank you, Ken, for the volunteer.
Volunteer.
All those in favor?
Aye. Do you wanna put this in this one?
No, we gotta sign it.
Oh.
What was his name, Kim?
Kerber.
Kerber?
Koerber.
Thank you.
And I'll just pass it that way, you can sign it.
Sure.
And we should be pretty close, I got 7:15, okay.
Come on down.
Alright, it's now 7:15, I'm gonna open up a public hearing on Overlook Estates Open Space Subdivision off Grapevine Road located in the low-density 5-acre residential district, as proposed by Stinson Hill LLC in accordance with town's open space subdivision, Article 6, public hearing is pursuant to RSA 31:19(2). Alrighty, welcome to the public. This is a square we have to fill, that they can go through the whole process of accepting that property there on behalf of the town. I know there's still work to be done on the deed, to either match the deed to the wetlands permit, or modify the wetlands permit to then match the deed, which I think is the preferred way to do it, so everybody's happy, and we can get that done. But I think everybody knows the intent is to try to just get it done and get moving for you folks, because it works for us, and where it fits the whole contour of the conservation property to its south, where's north here?
It's to the north.
Okay,
I think it's to the north of our,
actually, it's the
Bella
west.
Brook.
It's the
West?
west.
Okay.
Yeah, that's north. So if that's north, then that's west.
Oh, okay, yep, we're down there.
Yeah, it's down there. So that being said, I'll open it to the public. Do we got anything you wanna add to the public hearing? Don? Bob? You're the only public here, so. Gentlemen, you got anything you want to add, or questions or concerns?
No, I don't, no.
All the deed stuff is being handled by the planning board, that's their purview. So I trust them to take and do their job. I know Ken has been, and George have all been working behind the scenes trying to get this thing accomplished, along with Steve and Lean as well. Ken and I had a discussion for about half hour on the phone the other night. Maybe you want to add, or?
It's gonna be a nice addition to the, current piece that we have,
Yeah, it
which is
is.
really gonna make for a nice, and the fact that there's, pull-off areas over by, I think, there's the bridge further down, which they created, this Jim Stone
Mhm.
Trail that they
Yep.
named.
Yep.
There'll be parking there, so you'll be able to come around, and there's clearly identified parking in the cul-de-sacs that will allow any resident to park and then go hiking, so they've done a lot of planning and
Yep.
to make it enjoyable for everyone. Whereas, if they chose not to give it to the town, they could easily cut off that section and
Mhm.
give it to the association,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
they could post it and we would be able to enjoy it, so
Yeah.
this is gonna be a nice asset.
Yeah, well, that's a nice piece down there. I've walked, before this happened, I walked almost all the way down to 13, 13,
Oh, okay.
through the woods there one day. Yeah, it's a nice piece.
Yes, indeed. Well then, hearing nothing else on the public, the public meeting, you can talk to like.
No, I haven't got anything to say.
Alrighty then, well, I guess we'll close the public meeting, hearing no more on that. On behalf of the town, Bob, thank you again for, deciding to go this direction, because we appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll try to do our best to expedite this and get it where we need to go, so everybody's on the win-win.
People have been working very hard.
Absolutely.
So once this plan is recorded at the registry of deeds, Lemontown builders will be able to start selling and building.
Yep.
And then they've got, the roads already been bonded, so
Yep.
we'll be back before the selectmen to accept the road when it's complete, so you'll see this
Okay.
plan again.
I know, it's not part of the public comment, and the public meeting or anything, hearing. How we doing on the road though, is it all about done, or?
I've got 1,700 feet of it ready to finish grade and pave,
Oh,
Wow.
and then do curbing. We're through, we've got a 16-foot ledge cut, we're
Nice.
through that.
I haven't been down
Yeah,
since you guys started, so.
We've been crushing, I've got about 20,000 yards crushed,
Wow.
material that we're gonna use on site.
Yep.
It's, we're through the worst of it.
Great. So you guys,
Anxious to settle now,
yeah,
get some of the money back.
yeah, absolutely. Go blend it there.
Cash flow.
Absolutely. Alrighty then. Well then, I think we've had our meeting and, the public hearing anyway is now closed. But if you, anything you might wanna add, Linda, regarding the Overlook Estates and the.
Oh, no,
so we
thank
can,
you.
Just for you to give you an option.
Thank you for
Alrighty.
offering.
Oh, we got left of this stuff here.
Excellent.
We're moving right along. What's the
To move along.
Oh, move along, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Welcome.
Good
Thank you.
night.
I sent a link and, Rhonda,
Grondin,
I
G-R-O-N.
cannot remember his name.
can I ask you a question?
Yes, he is.
Hmm?
A resident of town.
Yes.
Yep.
Volontae is, I don't believe, right?
He is a resident
Oh.
at Stinson Hill.
No, Volontae isn't.
That's correct. He lives, well, his office is in Bedford, I don't know where.
Yeah, he could walk one from here.
Yeah, very much.
I sent you guys an article I found on the municipal association website. I was looking for something else, and, it was about, contracting and everything. I had a lot of question and answer stuff, and jogged my memory, we have a purchasing policy, among other policies, and we probably haven't reviewed any of them, like we probably should do annually. So, sent it out to you so you guys could read it when you have a chance, just to kinda give you some heads up when you take a look at that particular policy. You might be able to pick some pieces out of it. I don't know if you guys want.
When did you send that out?
This afternoon, about
Yeah, okay.
I saw it
4 o'clock.
before you came over there.
Sure.
But I mean, we got other policies we had to do, so maybe put that on the agenda for, whether you do a couple at a.
I'll send that out electronically, cause I've saved it on the document, and then I'll send out the current ones, so you can review it,
I mean, we got the fiscal not the investment policy, we got this policy, I mean, I know we got a bunch of other policies, we have, including, personnel,
This is the purchasing policy,
that's
right?
purchasing, yeah. Maybe we should be reviewing these, and I you brought up what the personnel one, every year we should be reviewing
Yeah,
these things,
that's
so.
one that's already a few years old.
We got budget stuff coming up, but maybe we can start picking out some of these things and getting them out,
Once a week,
yeah.
okay.
Anyway, just wanted to put it out there so we can.
We do have also have our action
the
list in the
punch
back
list.
that we
Yeah.
haven't really addressed yet.
Just we'll work on job descriptions, ordinance updates review, we got, that's for the warrant article, more so than anything, we gotta do, records, yeah, we'll get this to the committee. Those warrants, we can't do anything until town meeting anyway, but we can start getting that.
Dan offered to work on that,
Yeah.
come up
Well,
with
maybe more,
remind us, yep.
He said he'd be in next week. He thought he might drop in tonight, but he has a training,
Yeah,
and,
so it's the same thing next week,
if we hang around late enough, then he'll be there. But
so working against it, to do that, right? Speaking of Jeff Crosby, we got a email from Nancy Mayville regarding new construction of the bridge. You already read it, so.
Right.
Basically, Mayville from DOT.
MAVIL.
ILLE.
So, basically, I don't know if Jeff has ever approached the DOT for having them review the plans or not. So we have plans to do the stamp. Bless you.
Excuse me, I knew it was coming.
I know that in the past, the bridges that have been created, a lot of times were in a subdivision, like the one in Flintlock Farm.
Right. Well, bridge is
I'm
gonna
not,
be,
I don't think we have an engine, I don't know if we have an engineered plant in one of Grapevine. I don't know when we're working on that one.
well, yeah, there should be, I mean, well, it's been approved, the plans are approved by PE and everything, so those are, I mean, is it a bridge or is it actually a culvert?
I think it's culvert.
Yeah, I think the call
Yeah,
I
was.
it's
think
10
we
feet
only
or
have
less.
we
It's
only
10
have
feet
a
or
couple
less.
bridges in town.
It's 10 feet or less, it's like a culvert, so 10 feet is
Yeah.
considered a bridge.
Yeah, I think it's called.
Okay,
Yeah,
you know what
width
I'm
or
thinking, I'm
length?
sorry, I was thinking dam,
Not
the
width,
dams,
as
we
in
have two
length.
dams.
You're driving over it from start to going over.
That one might be over 10 feet.
No.
I'm pretty sure it is.
No, it's
No?
not, we only have one bridge,
Really?
which is Stark, and then two dams, that's what I was thinking. Actually, three dams, we have, Flintlock, Kimball Pond, and there's actually one on Old Huffington, but that's privately owned, I think.
The dams, the ones that are on the island out there, with the registered with the dam bureau, yes.
Yeah, we have to pay 2 feet, so it's actually just the Kimball Pond and Flintlock. The other one must be owned privately. It must be owned on Michelle Belanger's on
Mhm.
Old Huffington Road.
Yeah.
I don't get a bill or a fee for that, just,
Anyway, I said, I don't know, it's one of the questions we, hold it for next week to ask and make sure we get those ducks in a row and
I'll
stuff
leave
like
that
that.
in the box.
So, yeah, we can get that out of our hair, it'd be nice to get that off the books. Next thing, we have an exotic aquatic plant infestation control grant program, application for grant, i.e. milfoil.
Yeah.
It's all filled out, it has who was the contact, all that good stuff, is this something we,
Thought Lou
We-
was going back out of that, but
I think.
No, this is different. He wants to back out of the
Lake Coast.
Lake
thing?
Coast Association, which is boat monitoring and through a different grant program. This is the actual request for grant application. Triggers Amy Smagula from DES to go out to the pond to inspect the site. She determines how many acres will require to be tested or treated, and then that will come back with a grant amount, and then we move forward forward with the warrant
Oh,
article.
it's just that process.
Yeah,
Yep,
Yeah.
so, make a motion that we sign the application for the grant for, on behalf of the town for the milfoil control for 2017.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Continue, it's
Yep, let's do it.
one of those things that's gonna continue on, all those in favor?
Aye.
Second?
Tom.
Alright, she signed. Everybody get their calendar?
Yeah.
Alright, and lastly is something for non-public, so we'll take and do that at non-public.
Okay.
Alrighty, guess we'll go around the table.
I have a couple things,
Yeah.
I, contacted the auditor for the MS 535, that's the financial report. Was contacted by the Department of Revenue, they're in the process of reviewing our documents and they're ready to proceed with, setting the tax rate, so this one piece is the only piece that's missing. He apologized, he's been busy, I was on vacation last week, said he was away from his office, so he would get that document to me tomorrow. So the Department of Revenue's already begun to review our final, records. Because this is completed by the auditor and discussed at the exit conference, I'd like permission to export this document to the Department of Revenue and the board for review, and then have you sign it at next Thursday's meeting.
Can DRA take and use it even before we sign it? Or
You
does
have,
it-
you have to, export, and if there are no signatures on it, you just have to acknowledge that the, who performed the, completing the document, which is signed by Melanson Heath,
Yep.
their auditor,
Mhm.
will sign it, and then the last page is that you accept
Right,
their numbers.
I guess that was what I mean, the DRA doesn't care if we accept it or not.
No, because as long as, I would recommend that you review it, but I wouldn't hold up the review process or the signing of the document for a full week to get it to the state for them to use, because then we're looking at 2 weeks, 3 weeks before we get notice back that we have to set the tax rate.
What's your pleasure, gentlemen? Thoughts?
So I don't have any thoughts.
No, pretty good.
Yeah, everything's done
That's it, yeah.
electronically
Yeah.
now, and a lot of times,
Follow the process.
it's a standard to have the document and then
Yeah,
have it on file with a signature for my records, so.
I think the consensus would say, no, go ahead.
Yeah.
As soon as you get it, forward to DRA, let's get our tax rate set, and
Yeah.
if there's any inconsistencies, we can take it up to the auditor and then give a revised one after the fact.
Right, and in the past, I have seen, not recently, but there have been changes made and it's done at this tax rate setting.
These guys have been our auditor for a while, they've done well by us, we haven't had any problems with them
Yeah, yeah.
so I don't foresee it being an issue.
And now the, forms that they have to be uploaded by PDF. It's a format that their numbers will automatically upload into their software. So there's no repeat
They did have
entries.
a PDF.
They do it with my MS1 forms,
Really?
all of my records now. I have to upload the document, and you know how you have the ones that have the three tabs where you hit the numbers and one populates another
Oh, yeah,
page?
yeah.
That whole document
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
uploaded, and then you don't even
Wow.
change anything, they just,
Nice
when you hit save, it uploads to.
technology.
Well, less, operator error issues.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
every keystroke's a potential.
Oh, yeah, that's my goal with everything in the office, even with the software we have, I feel like even, through trial and error, when you have some small discrepancies, it's easier to identify the small discrepancy and fix that and move forward, because there's less chance of big errors,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and you can track things a little bit better when you see the exports.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah, so go for it.
Okay, I'll make sure that you
Yep. Please.
review it, I can send it out early next week. I just didn't wanna wait a whole week before.
No, if we have the opportunity, let's
Yeah.
get our tax rate get done, because you guys need to do the warrant and get tax bills out. They're
Okay.
calling my mouth.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
And,
Funny piece of
um,
paper.
I
On
felt like it.
On another note, I've been contacted by Ross from Cobb Hill Construction, I met with them almost a month ago now. He is finalizing his quote, and he will give us a total project cost and then a separate cost without the metal of the doors, to see the cost savings between the two. He said it's gonna take him just a couple more days. Then I was contacted on
So you should
Monday,
have that next week, you think?
I'm hoping.
Yeah?
And then I was contacted Monday, I picked up a message on my phone and returned the call. Score Construction, I think they're out of Derry, or Londonderry, and he said he's very interested in meeting with us to go look at the site, so I have an appointment tomorrow morning at 9 with them. So maybe with a little luck, we'll have a couple of quotes to look at and discuss next week.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Again, Paul Lazarowski continues to contact me weekly
Oh, I'm
and see
sure.
what the progress is on that.
Yeah, I really feel like that.
Yeah,
Home for,
it's only 2017.
yeah.
Not good, huh?
No.
Well, one never knows. Anything else?
No, that's all I have.
What about the transfer station?
Well, again, this week,
With the cylinder, right?
yeah, I guess I should bring it up in public. The trash compactor's down. I got the, final quotes for a rebuild on the shaft, came in a lot less than he expected. He had quoted originally 3,000 to 5,000.
It was a casing, wasn't it? That's like.
Yeah, it was the casing that takes the shaft, and that has to be rebuilt. So it was between $1,200 and $1,500, so I said, go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
And then, when I had meeting today, staff meeting with Woody, he did inform me that there was additional work that was scheduled to be done when and if this shaft had to be removed. And it involved a plate, metal plate. There were two options: install a full plate from the front to the back, and the problem with that, it would add additional height, thickness, I think he said like an eighth or a quarter of an inch. But towards the back, looking in, there's a section that drops down, which is where the real problem is. There's, he pointed with his stick, holes literally in the bottom of that plate. So he explained that that area could be removed and then put another plate in exactly the way it is. He doesn't know the reasoning behind the shift in the back, the front of the compactor to the back, but he wants to design it exactly the way it is. He doesn't wanna question their design, he just wants to, he's concerned that if he puts a plate over the entire piece, that metal doesn't sit like, paper. If there's any kind of deficiencies, warps, or anything like that, it will affect the whole plate. So, we both agreed that it would be best to do the, smaller plate towards the back, remove what's rotted out, weld in a new piece there.
Yep.
And he said that plate material would be about $100, so that we're looking at that cost plus installation.
Oh, you're there, might as well get it done, I think.
Yeah, you guys are part, you
Well,
guys
it's
are
open,
part.
yeah,
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 exactly.
so,
Great.
Oh, I agree, I mean, Woody explained that once they have that apart, it's easier to do it then,
And
and just have them come back and
correct,
try
yeah.
to redo it, so.
Yep. And then again, I walked through the, site yesterday afternoon, around 7. The place looked really good for Wednesday night. I joked that it looked cleaner than when I was working there. But, they're working really hard, and they still have, the spirits are up, and I'm very appreciative that they really stepped up to the plate and done a good job there, so.
So you were working or you were messing?
No, but I just had to give them an attaboy because it did look good, it really did,
Yeah, I was there last night.
yeah.
And, I didn't get to talk to the guys at the recycling shed, cause I didn't go over there, but, it looked like it was, well, they weren't all backed up, so it's good.
That's a
And
big,
there was a lot of traffic in there when I went in,
Yeah.
cause it's slower going through the, the current situation there, but there was still a lot of traffic over there
Yeah.
last night.
yeah.
And then, Mike, Kaminsky was
The funny
helping-
thing that,
helping Brad out.
so when Ed updated me with the shaft part, he had actually 2 shafts out to be rebuilt. And he thought it was ours that was gonna be ready, so he was ready to pick it up and coordinate time with Brad for tomorrow.
Yep.
That could still happen, but they're not 100% sure that it's gonna be ready for tomorrow, so, when I was talking to, Brad, he mentioned that it was unusual how people see cones in front of a certain area, it doesn't stop them from still taking their trash and throwing it in the hopper when there's no hopper there. So I just made up a couple signs, you know, guys, a sign goes a long way, so if you just say trash compactor out of order, trash that way. So I made a couple signs for Saturday, so at least they won't have to keep
Pretty
picking up.
obvious too, when you pull in, right? It's-
He said there are people throwing it in, so then you have to go down in the bottom and pick it up and put it back in the car. So,
Maybe we can look to make some doors or something.
yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's over there to close off that area, but I think they've been very, I mean, the highway department, Pete, has been a really big, help with
Nice.
working with the guys to place things where they need them. Brad's been very instrumental in organizing all that,
Yeah,
yeah.
excellent.
Well, he's got the trash even in the bins pretty well organized, the way he's putting it in, it's
Yeah.
kind of funny when you look at it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not,
It's all
because if you
stacked.
worked around that, you would say, oh my god.
I know, it's stacked, it does a good job.
Yeah, it's really nasty,
Yeah.
but it doesn't seem to bother him, so,
No,
I'm grateful to that.
Good guy.
Again, it's, why would you want to do anything to spoil that, because, I mean, he goes,
Yeah, I know, what do you do?
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it isn't like we have an easy time retaining employees.
Anything else for the good of the order?
Didn't you discover something with the caps coming off containers?
Did we talk about that already?
No,
About the caps? Oh, well,
I know we talked about, the last.
no, that's in between, your discovery was in between
okay.
what we discussed.
You had asked me to, ask the staffing how they felt about the caps.
Mhm.
And what we found out, because you were concerned about repetitive
Motion.
motion,
Yep.
what Ed Wooten explained to me, and he took one of your bottles that you had thrown out the night before, and it was crushed, and he said, "You see this?" He says, "You crush it,
Mhm.
put the cap on, you crush it, you release it, and it opens up." So what they found is that they can compress the whole bale by a good solid 6 inches or more, and it stays
Without the
compressed
caps.
without the caps.
Oh, I understand the whole physics behind it all.
Right,
It doesn't,
right.
it doesn't surprise me in that,
So-
at least.
They feel that
Mhm.
because they're so accustomed to doing it and they have a quick speed of action to do it, they feel that it would be better for them not to have to replace the bales as often, because that's very time consuming.
Mhm.
Having to press it, strap it, tighten it, remove it, and, set something up for that. They personally would like to continue to do it, they don't see a problem with it, and,
And maybe we may wanna have Primex take a look and make recommendations or something, because.
Yeah. they do offer training, so that would be a good thing, to bring up or point out.
Because I know, we're, workers' comp, and it's one of the first things you're gonna look at is repetitive motion.
Right.
If
Well,
we're
I-
not doing any type of risk assessment, shame on us. We're putting, so.
Okay, I'll work on getting the training.
Take a look.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, I understand, maybe, educating the public so they can take them off and bring them separately, would probably go a long way too.
Well, I brought that up today in our meeting, my meeting with Woody, that this is something that maybe we could,
Mhm.
for the most part, I've always observed that if you treat the residents
Mhm.
pleasantly, they respond the same.
Absolutely.
And if there's a way to advertise, even a pleasant poster saying, help us recycle, remove caps or separate,
Yep.
it will, eventually people get used to it, and then they don't have a problem doing 3 totes,
Yeah.
that knowing that this is gonna be an easy dump, I can
Yep.
get out of there, and they're not gonna try to,
Mhm.
struggle to,
Absolutely, it'll speed up their process at the windows so much
Yeah.
more too.
Yeah.
Last thing I wanna see on the town's behalf is having, 2 or 3 transfer station attendants and caps, because their wrists are all inflamed from carpal tunnel and twisting off caps.
Yeah.
That would do us no good.
yeah. Aside from the bottles themselves, the cap removal does have to happen on peanut butter jar,
Yeah.
mayonnaise,
Any jar.
any kind of jar
Oh,
has to be
absolutely.
removed.
And,
And that's the part where they're
we should have
godsend, because when you take those caps out, it's not very pleasant smelling.
Yeah, well, that's part of, maybe we do some resident outreach, and try to help bring them along, to help
Yeah.
those guys and help
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
as a whole.
Yeah, I think when I start the meetings, I hope to have weekly meetings with Woody. I'd like to try to sit down with him and come up with a plan of, creating a more efficient process, and then how do you educate the public without insulting them or angering them, and I
Absolutely.
think if people wanna keep their taxes low, they're gonna, be willing to work with the town.
Absolutely.
So. So I'll mention a few ideas with him, see how he likes that, and maybe we can start slow process signs, if not, maybe little postcards, something. We definitely hand out a number of things to new residents, but it's always
Yeah.
re-educating the ones that have been doing things a certain way for a long time, that we can
Absolutely.
get them to change a little bit.
Cool. Right. If I to-do list so we can
Yep.
make some progress. Anything else? Anything else for
Did I-
her? Remind
Did
us
I
about?
forget
No.
anything
Okay.
else? It's been a while.
No, but I wanted to bring that
Oh,
forward.
absolutely.
Right, yep.
Absolutely. No, we just wanna make sure because hopscotch ends.
Right.
Tom?
No, I'm good.
Well, Nathan?
Well, yeah, there's only one thing, that I was thinking about, and I know that we have questions for our town attorney, but I think the workers' comp part, dealing with Primex, and then having someone in the workers' comp department or the Department of Labor give you an overview, might eliminate a visit, or the focus on that issue that may not be an issue if you address it that way. At least get that done first, and, if they're fine with it,
And
it may not be a reason that,
you're referring to the return to work policy?
correct,
Yeah, okay.
correct. You
Cause
know,
they have
it-
staff attorneys on,
Well, they're versed in workers' comp, but you have to remember that their protection, first of all, is Primex. So we want the town protected, and the Department of Labor offers the employer some kind of boilerplate.
Yep.
And so I think, if you run it through them and the Department of Labor says,
Yeah.
this is adequate.
Yeah.
I just have I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say this, Thomas. You can tell when it's cold out, cause an attorney has his hands in his own pocket.
okay, so, once I get the response back from Primex, reach out to the, Department of Labor.
Yeah, we could,
Won't hurt, that's for sure. I know they're missing an administrator for workers' comp. Still looking for one. I haven't been for it, 'cause I don't want the headache.
Is it because they're sick, or they're missing, you said?
No, the administrator for the workers' comp section, the bureau in the Department of Labor is vacant. They've advertised for probably a good 3 or 4 months now. No one's taken the bait.
Alright, that may be why Woody commented that he hadn't gotten a return call from some messages he left. A lot of vacancies since sick people or something. Alright, we'll go that route, instead of town attorney.
That's not a bad idea.
That's a good one.
cause I just can't see spending money that we probably gonna get the same answer for.
Yeah,
Well, I know anything we, usually as a rule of thumb, anything that is policy or something where it's, potentially could become legal fodder for
Right.
the court, we have the town attorney sign off on it first.
Yeah, I
Usually get defense.
realize that, but you do have a department within the state whose focus is protecting the employee and making sure the employer, meets
Complies.
these,
Right.
Absolutely.
Benchmarks.
That's a great idea.
and then you have Primex that has their attorneys
yeah.
making sure, again, they're looking at the return to work policy and all of that, so possibly that eliminates a step to our own attorney.
Okay,
That'd be great.
good idea. Yeah. Do that.
Anything else?
That's all I have right now.
Alright, one thing I have on my list here is, something I think we need to discuss is, one is a big thank you to Lean for coming down on your vacation and helping out at the work, at the transfer station. I was about to call it the dump, you can tell I'm a local, but
I
it's on way back.
plan on taking an additional day off.
Yeah, as I said,
Here,
should.
sure.
we need to, as to say, consistent with the board here, we ought to, figure out some type of additional compensation, whether it's extra days off or whatever, because we also put in a lot of hours, above and beyond. quite a while now,
Oh, thank you.
so,
I'll do
something
my
to
best.
think about here in the near future. Thank you. Just wanted to bring it up to you gentlemen, so.
Yep, no, it's a good idea.
Conversation, so we didn't go, it's non-public, so I don't wanna discuss that like that right now, but I just plant the seed so we can, get ideas and thoughts.
Yep.
When you're ready, we can do that, but, I think it's only fair. We ask a lot of you, and, you deserve to be compensated for it reasonably,
Thank you.
so. Other than that, I'm good. So, I'll open up the public comment again. No? Linda?
Okay, a couple things.
Yeah,
You were talking about the transfer station and the bottle caps.
Yep.
And you're right, educating the public is definitely a big step. I never knew that until several years back. Woody had just mentioned it in passing, and he explained the whole, gotta take them off, and having volunteered down the transfer station forever, I knew that you have to take the caps off if you don't want the plastic to pop out when you put it through the baler. So that is a great idea, and it's just developing a habit. I do the caps separately. I've got a great recycling little setup at my home, so that they're always separate, and you can throw them in a coffee can or whatever. You don't need a special bag. So in educating the public, I don't know what the policy is at the school, but I think that the school's a great resource to, they have their notices that go out all the time, the kids bring them home, the parents look at those notices. They may not look at anything else we send them, but I think the parents look at those notices. So maybe that would be an avenue that the board of selectmen could discuss with the school board. It's worth a shot, but the worst that can happen is it doesn't get much better, but the best that can happen is it gets a little bit better. And as far as repetitive motion, I wouldn't throw so much slant on the bottle caps. Everything those guys do is repetitive. I know, I volunteered there for